What do you do when you're one of the only atheists or the only atheist in the room and people start to pray? This is always an awkward situation that happens in the holidays especially. I know it happened to me in Thanksgiving. It happened to me in school, actually. Which shouldn't be happening in school in the first place because it's public school, first of all. Shouldn't be trying to make anybody pray. But a teacher of mine likes to pray before we have performances for my chorus program. She's a Christian. And, she gathers us up and says, let's pray. And it was very awkward because I was the only one that was just kind of standing there and I don't know too many atheists at my school that actually take it seriously, like I'm an atheist, like really, or like, because most people just say it just, yeah, sure, whatever, like, I don't know what I am, because that's how most teenagers are, but I actually take my atheism seriously. I really study into it, and I'm not that smart about it or anything, but I don't want to say that I'm an expert, because I'm not, but I do take it seriously, and I do really know that there's no God, and so I'm standing there, and I don't know what to do, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, because everybody else is just like, their hand down and like closing their eyes, and I'm just like, somebody happened to open their eyes while they were praying, and they look at me and they're just like, why aren't you praying? Like, why aren't you putting your head down? And he's like shocked, like, why aren't you doing this? Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm atheist. And then he says, oh. Like, he gives me this terrified look, like she's gonna kill somebody or something, like if I just said I'm Freddy Krueger. And I don't know what to say. Well, I'm atheist. It's just, okay. And then he just bows his head down very awkwardly again and just keeps going on with whatever. And, it just made it like 10 times more awkward for me because I'm the only one just like looking at everybody like, and then that happens and I'm just, So I think the best thing to do is just stay with your eyes open and just not by your head. If everybody else has their eyes closed and everything, you're not even gonna notice. But if somebody does ask you, like they asked me, just be honest with them. Don't be like, oh, right. Don't try to hide. It's not bad to be an atheist. A lot of Christians make it seem like, oh, it's so terrible. It's a bad thing to be an atheist. Don't give in to those stereotypes. Don't give in to that. You need to show that we're not afraid of showing that we're atheists, and that we shouldn't be afraid of showing that we're atheists, and that we have the right to be. And I have the right to not bow my head while everybody else is. There's no reason for me to need to do that. And the fact that people look at me weird because I'm not doing that, that shows what's wrong with the world. That people still look at you like you're crazy because you're not Christian. Well, what's wrong with the nation? More like, not the world. There's just definitely more problems with the world. Stand your ground. Unless you're gonna get kicked out, or like it was a more strict school about religion, and I don't know what country you live in. I live in the States. I don't know what consequences there could be for other people, and for me nothing would happen. It's just the awkwardness, and that's why I stand my ground. And I don't, like, if you're able to show that you're an atheist and stand your ground, do it. Don't be afraid to, just because people are gonna look at you weird, or people are gonna judge you or think that you're a bad person, that you don't have morals because you're an atheist. Because a lot of people come up to me about that and say that, well, why don't you believe in God? What's wrong with you? It's like, why does there have to be something wrong with me in order to believe more in science and proof than to believe in the Bible? So, yeah, just stand your ground. And then I know Christmas is tomorrow, and it gets kind of awkward, and a lot of family members really get really upset if you don't bow your head and pray with them. But I mean, unless they're really gonna like disown you or something really bad, like really bad consequences are gonna happen if you don't just give in. My parents are Catholic, and my brothers and I are atheists, and so it's kind of like we're 3 against 2, and we don't pray at all. Like my parents don't even try anymore, because when they did still try to make us pray, it'll just be like 3 of us not doing anything, and then my parents just, you know, so they just stopped trying to make us, and they're just like whatever. But they're still angry with us about that. Like not angry, but like they're disappointed that we didn't take up the same faith that they did. But it's our choice. It's our bodies, our mentality. We can choose what we want. That's what the whole country is about, freedom of religion. That's why everybody wants to be here. So they can't really do anything about it, so they might as well just accept it. And they do stop trying to make us pray and whatnot. So it's all good as far as my family, but I know that there's a lot of families that, if you don't do it, it's just like, get out of my house. There are a lot of families like that, and then if you live in one of those families, that's horrible. I feel for you, and maybe that isn't the right situation to not do, just give in, because bad things can happen. But if you can, if it's in your power to do it, don't be afraid of what people think. Don't stop doing it because of what people think and what they're gonna ask you, and you know. So when other people start praying, just sit there and just that's what I would do. So, bye guys.